This year was ghetto. That's the best way I can put it. This year was ghetto. Okay. What up, y'all? So, long time, no talk, no video. I just want to start this video by saying this is probably going to be the most raw, transparent, honest video I have made on my channel. I was going to say this year, but maybe in general. There's so much to kind of touch on and talk about. I'm going to go ahead and kind of throw on a face mask and stuff. Y'all know for these late night vent sessions, I usually like to do some type of skincare, self-care, well, self-care in general, yeah, self-care type of thing. So I'm going to be using the very last of this Fresh Lotus Youth Preserve Rescue Mask. You're not going to focus for me? Okay. You're not going to focus? Okay, there you go. I really don't have much left at all, so I'm really pushing it right now, but I'm just feeling like, oh, this is the day after Christmas. Happy, merry belated Christmas to you guys. I just woke up not too long ago, and man, y'all, I don't know about you guys, but I was gonna say this Christmas season has been kind of trash, but overall I feel like, I won't say my year has been trash, but so much has just happened, so much unpredictability, just so much. But in particular, Christmas definitely had certain plans and expectations of the holiday season, and everything kind of went to shit very quickly. Especially with this new variant that recently came out. Well, not recently, but you know what I mean? Like, so many people are sick, so many people are having to quarantine. One of those people actually ended up having to be Josh towards the end of this month. Or, yeah, he's still kind of not feeling the best. So, our Christmas plans to spend Christmas with my family, my mom, and then to go visit his family the day after. Like today, we were supposed to be on our way, if not already there, to Indiana to spend the holidays with his family for a while. Like, nothing planned out the way it was supposed to, or who am I to say it was supposed to? Just, it's been a lot, y'all. It's been a lot. I felt like I needed to come on here because I think that I don't even know if the word would be like I owe you guys an explanation, or more so like it's important to me to make sure that I maintain my transparency and relatability with you guys. And with that, I feel like I've taken you guys along this entire journey of my adult life since I started in, when I put 2016. So to not kind of like let y'all know what's going on in my life, where I've been at. I don't know if you guys have noticed this year, but I have personally noticed this has kind of been my most inconsistent. Oh dang, I should have put those eye patches on actually. I feel like this has been one of my most inconsistent, MIA, emotional roller coaster years of my life. It's weird how something can be like the best and worst year, if that makes sense. I feel like out of all my years of life, I've never found myself in so many different whirlwinds of emotions and feelings and highs, but also low lows. A lot of you guys know that lost a very close family member this year very suddenly. Like, I feel like I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say, because I want to just talk to y'all, like, and not feel like I'm performing. That was something that it's kind of been a reality check, I feel like, for me. When Josh and I started VLOGMAS on our couples channel this December, we went, any of you guys watch VLOGMAS, y'all kind of know how this year went. It was all over the place, super unorganized, no structure, just very like shoot from the hip, go with the flow, which is not me at all. The Virgo in me likes everything. Like, I want details, I want like step by step, so to speak. I want, like, I plan ahead. I'm usually really good at that, and I just did not have it in me this year. But I think there was kind of beauty in it, because right before we started VLOGMAS, Josh and I kind of made this pact of like, let's just call this VLOGMAS full transparency. I think that oftentimes when it comes to posting content, in particular vlogs that I'm talking about, a lot of us influencers like to already be like on top of our shit. We already got shit planned. We know the days and what we're gonna do on those days, and like everything is so structured. Trying to show up every day with that high energy and that hot like, and I already knew when we started it that I wasn't gonna be able to like bring that. But there's a couple of reasons behind why that is. Around, is it September? Like, I feel like right after my birthday, I wouldn't say shit started hitting the fan, but like things started getting like overwhelming AF. So a lot of you guys know, I'm kind of gonna just be jumping everywhere. So yeah, and I'm freaking sick of this. A lot of you guys know that I got management this year. Beautiful thing, so grateful, so appreciative, love my manager. And everything that she's helped me do and accomplish this year for my brand. With that though, I didn't realize, I guess I did, I didn't realize. Like obviously with management, there's gonna be more brand deals, there's gonna be more obligations, kind of higher expectations and stuff. And the one thing I feel like that I didn't really prepare for was fourth quarter. For my peers around me, I always kind of hear like fourth quarter is just super intense and like overwhelming, because that's when a lot of brands are kind of trying to like finish out their year, their budget. They might have budget that's left over, holiday content. They're looking for influencers to do holiday content for them, all of that. So around October, I was sitting in like 10 brand deals between both my YouTube and my Instagram at one time that were all due in like a month and a half time frame. That's a lot. And I also have never had to like work like that. I've never had a fourth quarter like this, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, because I've been my own boss and like was the one handling my brand deals and sponsorships and stuff every year prior to this year. Poke my eye out. I kind of did not know what to expect or how that workload would like affect me. And y'all, things got real hectic and overwhelming very fast. And the reason honestly is I have been my own person, my own team, just me. So when I'm filming videos for y'all, I'm the person in front of the camera who needs to elude that, like, you know, the energy. Then I'm also the person behind the camera. Then I'm also the person that films it. Then, well, that is filming. Then I'm also the person that edits it. Then I'm also the person that posts it or has to submit it to a brand. Or it's a lot. It's a lot sometimes. And I think that, well, I know that I might have bit off. Why do I keep, this is something I'm going to work on with myself. Like those little filler words, I kinda, or I think, or blah, blah, instead of like, I know, this is how I feel. That's something I'm trying to work on. I'm sure I kind of get into that too, because that kind of has to touch on like my journey of womanhood and yada, yada, yada. But I know that I bit off more than I can chew to be a one-woman team. And I thank God for Josh, because he definitely stepped up and helped me out immensely towards kind of the end of, he just saw that I was starting to get like drained. There's a lot of times this year where I felt like I was kind of like drowning in terms of just being so overwhelmed and probably overworked. And yeah, he pulled through immensely for me at the end, helped me finish all the brand deals and stuff. And I feel like, I think that by the end of November, like around Thanksgiving, was the last of me having to submit all my sponsored content. Did I put any on my chin? I don't even know if I have any left. But the problem was, so I was already like burnt out from like October to November trying to like, and okay, October, November, October, November. Trying to crank out all this stuff. And then we'd already committed to VLOGMAS. So I think, like I said, by Thanksgiving, I think the day before Thanksgiving was the last day that I had to do some sponsored content and get it submitted. And some of you guys saw in a weekly vlog, I think I shot like 2 pieces of sponsored content that day, and one of them, yeah, it's out now. So it's on my Instagram. When I partnered with 1800, we shot that at almost like midnight. And I think it was midnight the day of Thanksgiving. It was a lot going on, y'all. And to be honest, I think that, oh gosh, I need to try to get it. I know that trying to juggle 2 brands, so I have my own personal brand that has both Instagram, YouTube brand deals, and then we have our couples brand, Josh and Isi, who has their own YouTube and Instagram. And then like there's other outside business ventures that we've been trying to work on. Honestly, I don't even know if burnout was the right word, y'all. Like, to be honest, there's so much that I want to like tell y'all, I want to share with you guys. But I'm kind of going to be jumping out around everywhere, which I keep trying to tell myself is okay. Like I told y'all, oftentimes the Virgo in me is trying to always be so structured and so perfect with my words. And I feel like I've noticed it's taken the fun out of my job a little bit. Me always trying to get on camera and like perform. And I don't even know if I finished my previous statement about that with me and Josh when we started Vlogmas this year, because so that's why I gave y'all background story on like all those brand deals, having to try to knock those out, as well as still try to post present day like relevant content to you guys. And I don't think I was doing that. I think that, yeah, I was just so like emotionally and mentally gone. I think that most of the content I posted was sponsored towards this 4th quarter year, and I apologize for that, honestly, because that's never my intentions. But I kind of was trying to listen to my, you know what, sorry, rewind, I'm taking back the apology, because I know that I needed to do that for myself, not overwhelm myself even more with trying to do the sponsored content as well as trying to make you guys like present day content. Because what I noticed is when I get overwhelmed like that and my mental is just kind of shot, I'm no good for anybody. Not myself, not for you guys. The content doesn't translate the way I want. It's not quality, and I really pride myself on trying to bring out quality content. But I was saying all that to say, Thanksgiving hits. So Thanksgiving is what, like 5 days before December hits. So I had like 5 days to recover, so to speak, before we started doing Vlogmas. For those who don't know, Vlogmas is vlogging every single day from December 1st to the 25th. Every day. You're filming, you're editing, you're posting. Every day. Which is why, again, my MIA-ness this month on my personal channel, I wasn't going to try to stretch myself thinner than I was already feeling going into Vlogmas. And what a lot of people actually don't know, Vlogmas Day 1 was so hard to make. I actually ended up kind of having a little emotional breakdown and crying a little bit in the car. And it's crazy because so many people wouldn't know that, and if I didn't say it based off Vlogmas Day 1. But I just felt this wave of like emotion and like weight to just do our intro for Vlogmas Day 1, because again, for Vlogmas, or just getting on film and doing content in general, you try to have this high energy, and it really is, I feel like Josh put it best, it really is and feels like you're performing. So our typical YouTube intro is like, what up y'all, Josh and Easy here once again with another quality video, and it's usually a little bit higher in energy than that. I just woke up, so I don't have it in me. But I struggled that first day to just do that, because one, I think it felt like, all right, now it's gonna be 25 days more of this. And then the second thing was, I knew that I didn't feel like I was in a good and happy place, yet I was supposed to perform and have this high energy and excitement to start off Vlogmas, and I just didn't have it in me. But thankfully, God blessed me with a very understanding partner who can adjust in different situations. And before we officially started the video, actually we started it a couple times. The footage just ended up getting deleted because I was just But he gave me a little pep talk and also reassured me. He was like, we could just be honest with them. We'll just make this Vlogmas fully transparent. And I guess now that I think about it a little bit deeper, it's interesting that like him saying that did lift a weight off of me a little bit. Like, okay, I don't have to come off, I guess, perfect, or I don't have to come off so like on top of my shit. So that was super, super helpful. But it made me really think and reflect like, okay, it takes a lot to get on camera every day in particular. If we're talking about Vlogmas, every day and like just have this, because people can read energy pretty easily. I feel like, especially you guys who've been following my journey for a while, or me and Josh's journey, like y'all can, if we're typically like, hey y'all, quality, and then another video is like, yeah, blah blah blah, that wasn't something that we normally do or show that side of ourselves. Just kind of like being regular human beings, if that makes sense. But me and him setting that tone, like, y'all, this vlog is going to be fully transparent, and it worked out in our benefit so much because, one, Josh got sick towards the very end, so the kind of like last week of Vlogmas, we weren't really doing anything, literally, like we couldn't. He wasn't feeling good, so we just were quarantining in the house, and there's not much content that you can really get like that. I think that I know that us setting the tone off rip, like, hey y'all, this is where we're at, this is what we're gonna do, really helped, because there are times where, and sometimes I'll get on here in my bonnet and stuff, but that's usually during like weekly vlogs. Again, trying to keep it transparent and relatable. When I first wake up, my hair is not done, and I don't wake up on fleek all the time. Probably dang near never, actually. So I was able to, like, I guess, I don't want to say confidently, like I'm not confident in it, but there were times during Vlogmas this year where I would hop on camera and I'm in my bonnet and we're in our pajamas still, and it's just like, yeah, y'all, today is a blah day. And just being able to be honest and real, it's interesting because I really don't know when that tone started setting in. I think maybe through comparing in my journey, because when I watch other people's like videos or vlogs in particular over the years, girls are like done up, face beat, hair laid, like every video, fashion on point, and I didn't have it in me, but I also have been trying to do a lot more self-reflection when it comes to like, is that me? Or is it, or do I think I'm supposed to do it because that's what I see other people do? Honestly, y'all, like I said, this year has been a whirlwind. I've been doing so much self-reflection, a lot of deep diving, a lot of asking myself, like kind of picking myself apart. And not in like a detrimental way, but like asking myself the hard questions, and I don't know if I've said this terminology on here with you guys before, but comfortably living at my edge. Me and Josh talk about living at our edge often, and basically what that means is being super real and honest, not with anybody else, but more so with yourself. So what's a good example for me living at my edge? Something else that actually happened to me this year. So with management came me needing to completely like rebrand both platforms, both Instagram and YouTube. And the rebranding wasn't even just in a quality sense. It was also like an internal rebrand that I needed to do as well. Something that I tell a lot of people about in terms of my first interaction with my manager. I was in a phase where I was interviewing with like 3 or 4 management agencies earlier this year. All of them went really well. I think I could have been successful with any of the agencies, but interesting enough, I went with her because she kept it really honest with me in the conversation, where it was kind of like, yeah, your platform is great, you have good engagement, etc., but X, Y, and Z still needs to be done in order for you to elevate. Whereas I feel like the other management agencies that I was interviewing with was kind of like, oh, you're already great, you're like, blah, blah, like we can do a lot with you, we can get you these branded, but it wasn't really about trying to help me elevate. It was kind of like, oh, you're good where you're at, blah, blah, blah. Whereas my manager was like very honest with also saying like the fact that as a chocolate black girl, there's a certain level that you're gonna have to operate at for these brands that you want to work with to be willing to see you. And like, it's so crazy because brand friendliness is so important when it comes to trying to like really establish yourself in this career, being an influencer. Well, I guess honestly, it depends on what you want from an influencer career. For me, I know I wanted to work with big brands. I know I wanted to continue like growing and evolving and elevating every year. So something that really sticks with me and I tell so many people about that kind of oddly enough made me really select my manager was she was looking at my Instagram page and she was like, you know, your style is really eclectic, which basically means like someday I can be a tomboy energy and vibes, other day I can be a girly girl, and like I'm eclectic. It's just how I'm feeling is what I wear, instead of it being like, oh, I'm always a girly girl, I'm always, you know. So anyway, but she also was like, but you also have like a hood fashion going on. Think about like the Instagram baddies of the world that you see on Shade Room or whatever, like that culture. That's what she was like referring to. And it's interesting because when she said that, it clicked for me like, okay, this is not Issy living in her truest self. That I wasn't living in my truest self at that time because, one, I was raised in the suburbs all my life. Two, went to private school, like pretty much all my life, grade school, high school, and college, even private school. Like, so it didn't, and she wasn't saying hood fashion in a negative way. She was more so just saying like, that's not necessarily on brand if you're trying to work with Walmart or Target or some of the brands I've even worked with this year, CVS or like there's a certain image that needs to be very like clean and professional, and like the hood fashion, the big chains, and like, I don't know how to explain it because I don't want it to come off like that type of content or aesthetic is bad. It's just more so not in terms of what I was trying to do, where I wanted to go, and what I explained to her. She was basically like, all right, you're gonna have to cut that out, or like kind of evolve out of that. Again, like I said, after I started doing some deep diving and living at my edge, it's a perfect living at my edge moment, me saying like, oh yeah, I've never lived in the hood. I've always lived in the suburbs. I've always been a private school girl. Click like, okay, that's not really me. And another living at my edge with that same situation is I transitioned into kind of like that Instagram baddie type of vibe. I noticed within the last year or two, and this is something else like that I've been trying to consciously and intentionally work on getting out of, but this comparison shit is so for the birds, y'all, and it's so crippling, I feel like, for everyone. But when I'm speaking for myself, being in an industry that's kind of all about image and validation from others and affirmation from others and like all of that, it can be very hard to like stay focused on your own lane. I think, and you know what's crazy too, I think that I had a similar conversation with you guys the end of last year. I was in the car and for some reason I kind of remember something about like staying in my own lane. And this year, the last year or two, I feel like maybe not. No. Live at your edge. Live at your edge. I think dang near, I can really say since I started social media, since I started my YouTube channel back in 2016, I think that I have always kind of looked in other lanes somewhere along the way, maybe not for long periods of times, but like just that comparison, like, oh, so-and-so is doing well, so-and-so is elevating, so-and-so is working with this brand, so-and-so has this many followers, paying attention to other people's shit entirely too much. And the thing is too, no matter how much you try to dissect somebody else's journey, at the end of the day, you don't know everything. Like you only know what they have shared with you thus far. With seeing, I guess, like the likes, the engagement, the love, so to speak, from kind of being Instagram baddie, nails done, hair done, everything always on point and fleet. I think that subconsciously in my head, 2-3 years ago, wheels started kind of turning like, okay, this is a similar image I need to start working towards or imitating a little bit to start having a better engagement and blah, blah, blah. But it's interesting too because fast forwarding to this year, having that conversation with my manager and stuff like that, it made me really like honestly deep dive again on some of these people's pages that I used to, I don't know if the word would be admire, but you know, like kind of like paying attention to their blueprint. The difference between where they're at and where I'm at, yeah, they might have more followers and higher engagement, more likes and stuff, but I noticed that they're partnering with like Fashion Nova and Tummy Tuck Tea or whatever, whereas I was blessed enough to like be partnering with like big name brands this year. So like that's kind of like a prime example of the importance of just staying in your own lane and figuring stuff out for yourself, because if I never transitioned out of that like kind of hood fashion Instagram baddie vibe, I wouldn't have been able to land the brand deals and opportunities that I did this year. That felt more towards my truer self. Even another really good example, living at my edge, that I went through this year, my recent room transformation that I posted on my YouTube channel. I don't know how many of you guys saw it, but I think in the beginning of the video or throughout the video, I kind of like touched on similar statements of what I'm kind of saying now. Like I was comparing my aesthetic and my vibe to other people. There's this ongoing kind of like home decor influencer aesthetic that's just been going around. The pampas grass, the whites, the nudes, the creams, like really no color, no vibrancy, very European-esque aesthetic. A lot of influencers have been into. So fast forwarding to moving into which I noticed, I think like last year or whatever. So moving into this year, moving into the first, our first apartment together, because I was focusing on other people's lands, comparing like, oh, this is like this, how this person is successful, their aesthetic is this, so maybe that's what I need to do to vote. And like y'all know, and if you don't know, then just watch the video, because I feel like I touched on it a decent amount, a little bit more intricately than what I will right now. But it's the same kind of reoccurring thing, comparing, and then I wasn't living in my truest self, being truly Isi, because now the way my room looks is straight up Isi. All the colors, the black women empowerment, the like vibrancy, that is so me. And I don't try to like, I guess, over judge myself and like be super judgmental of myself, because I think that sometimes like saying these type of things out loud just to yourself can be embarrassing sometimes. Like, oh, essentially I kind of let other people think for me, but then to come on camera and like be transparently honest about that with you guys too, it's not a feeling of embarrassment, I don't feel like, because I think that it's important. That's why I'm saying I pride myself so much in being super, or try to be super relatable, honest, and transparent with you guys about every step of my journey that I'm going through, because I'm developing into a woman with y'all, as I feel like a majority of you guys are my peers, kind of around the same age. So it's kind of like I'd rather be the person to admit that I'm still trying to figure shit out, y'all, and I know I'm still so far. I don't know if it's so far, but you know what I mean. I know I have a longer way to go. Like I'm not completely sure of self yet, and I think that's why I'm not rushing it. But like I kind of look forward to the 30s, because I feel like I hear a lot of people saying like, yeah, in your 30s you're a lot more sure of yourself, you're a lot more set in your ways about things, confidently, unapologetically. I feel like the only way for me to get to that point is to have these type of honest conversations with myself and go through these trials and tribulations and figure out what is easy and what is not, what do I like and what I don't. Am I operating at my highest self? Am I not? Am I creating content and portraying myself the way I feel like other people want to see me and expect me to be? Or is this really me? This journey this year in particular has been so overwhelming, because even when I'm even telling you guys just about these mental conversations and thoughts and trying to figure myself out while also trying to create content for y'all and perform, be here to perform, because at the end of the day, if I stop posting, bills don't get paid, so to speak. Obviously, I'm not saying like I'm living paycheck to paycheck, but you know what I mean? Like my job is this, to get on camera, to share my life, to show me. But if and when I'm going through these constant trials and tribulations of trying to figure out self, and then also going through other losses, loss of friendship, loss of a family member in terms of death, like just, it can be so heavy and so overwhelming sometimes. So again, I don't necessarily want to say I apologize, because I think that would be unfair to me and my like real personal life. Like I needed time to tap in and tap out the way I did this year. But although I'm trying to force myself not to apologize, it's still kind of like that guilty feeling of like, oh, but I signed up for this, so I should know how to, and it's just not, it's not true. And I was kind of talking to my cousins about this yesterday, just in terms of like this strong black woman narrative. Like you guys don't even hold me to that standard of like always coming on camera and like perform. Like it's not anything you guys have said to me or anybody has said to me to make me feel like I gotta show up on point and like ready to go every video or every Instagram or whatever. But it's that strong black woman complex that I think makes me, and I'm sure a lot of my other peers, feel like even when we're kind of down and out or going through things, we don't have time to do that. We don't, it's no time for that type energy. I hope that makes sense. It's difficult to freaking balance, y'all. This year has just been so much. I will say that I feel like I'm able to now get on camera and have this conversation with you guys because I'm more towards the light than I was last month, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I was like, I won't say like I was in a, no, in my edge, I would say I'm in a dark place. I kind of felt like a dark cloud. Not necessarily every day, but like if majority of the days out the week, you're kind of finding yourself, you're having more bad days than good, actually. I was kind of feeling like I was having more bad days, more emotional days, more overwhelmed days, overworked days than good days. Now my summertime shy was like top tier. Me and Josh had a hot couple summer, but like I feel like during summer I wasn't even really posting like that. The brand deals were happening, but it wasn't like back to back to back to back to back. Like I said, this holiday season hit with my ass. I'm not even gonna lie. It's just interesting to think about my year, how this year went, because there were definitely highs. I feel like I'm kind of dwelling a little bit more on the lows and the reflection, but I feel like with those, I'm transitioning more into a better me, a more like real, honest, apologetic me. I also didn't want to lose my train of thought on the Instagram baddie conversation too, because something else actually that kind of made me a little bit emotional as I've been trying to like, now I will say, although I haven't really been like posting content like that, I have been again doing a lot of self-reflection and trying to plan on 2022. So my Isimeme 3.0 year is, I'm just gonna move up every year to be honest, but Isimeme 3.0, I've been trying to journal and write out and brainstorm what does that look like? What type of content does Isimeme 3.0 put out? And I think the biggest thing I also realized with kind of falling into that world of Instagram baddie, like the imitation of that world, I lost myself in it. And I can honestly kind of pinpoint when it happened too, because I don't know if I've shared this with you guys. This is gonna be a really long video. I'm not trying to say sorry. If you're still here, you're still here. Anyway, I can pinpoint when the change started happening in me, because I do feel like when I started social media, there was such a excitement and zest, and like I was just way more into it and fulfilled because I felt like I was bringing value to y'all's lives. Whereas the last year or two, I feel like I haven't. This in that Instagram baddie world and culture where it's kind of more so about your outer appearance and aesthetic, I haven't felt very fulfilled or happy with my content in a while. And I feel like I finally, over the last month or so, have pinpointed why. Especially after looking back at my old content. I've been recently kind of looking at old Easy Instagram, like going all the way back from when I first started. Did a complete deep dive on that. And then also watching some old Easy African Beauty YouTube videos, and then kind of comparing it to the content that I've been posting this year and where I'm at. It's so interesting because I've definitely elevated in a lot of beautiful ways, but I also feel like I lost myself also along the way in terms of like why I started this journey in the first place. My whole reason behind starting my YouTube channel in 2016 was that I was in a very low self-esteem, low confidence, just place in my life. I had been in that place for a while because I was an athlete like all my life, so, and private school, so I didn't really have time to get into like makeup like that, nor will I say I was all that interested in like the beat face and stuff like that, not in high school. And I just had started getting into makeup like maybe sophomore year of college. So late bloomer in that sense. And then even when it came to like fashion and stuff, because I went to school, private school, we always had uniforms. So it was polos, khakis, and that was it. So going into college, and even with my college, it was private, predominantly white, but like that didn't really matter. It more so what I'm trying to say is going from like private school compared to social media. Let me just tell y'all when I really noticed this shift that happened in me. And I remember telling myself that I was gonna shift and pivot, but I didn't know that it was gonna be the way it has become. So my first time being invited to YouTube Black was in November. It was either October or November of 2019. And it was such an amazing experience. I got to meet so many peers that I only would usually see online. But that experience was another one of those things similar to this year. There was so much beauty in it, but it was also a lot of things that took place that made me make myself inferior to others. So being around other influencers that are flaunting the latest things, the latest trends, Jordans, Fendi bags, Dior bags, laid hair. Like, I just felt very, oddly enough, I allowed myself to feel very out of place. And it wasn't like I didn't deserve to be there, or that I wasn't where my peers were, because I wouldn't have been invited if that was the case. But it's weird. I don't know how else to explain to you guys other than saying, like, I was wearing things like Pretty Little Things and like low quality stuff, whereas everybody at YouTube Black came like on point. And granted too, most of them had gone to YouTube Black every year, so I'm sure they've evolved over the years. That was my first time, so it was definitely freshman energy in my opinion. But along with that freshman energy, because I allowed myself to feel so inferior in that space during that time, when I left, I told myself, and I remember having a conversation with Josh, I was like, I'm never going to feel that way again when I go to an event like that, an influencer event like that. So fast forward to this year, and maybe it was a little bit of last year, I started getting into the Dior bags and the like luxury stuff, and nothing's wrong with that. I don't want to make it seem like it's a problem, but I'm trying to get to my point of saying a lot of that was influenced based off me allowing myself to feel inferior to the people that were portraying this image that I thought I needed to look like or be like, similar to the European aesthetic and decor. I'm thinking that I'm seeing other influencers have in their homes. I'm thinking, oh, well, that's successful, that's what looks good, that's what people like, so that's what I need to do. It's crazy because, like, this month I had to send my bank statements to my accountant, and I had to like look at how much money I let go out the window this year, and it just pissed me off, to be honest. Especially the beginning of this year when we were moving into here, because that's when I was getting these purses and trying to rebrand myself, thinking that I needed to look this way or have these things. And it's interesting. I'm trying not to like overjudge myself, because I think I needed to go through these things to really figure out what is me and what is not. But the flex culture isn't me. Like, I wasn't raised like that. I think a story I like to tell a lot of people is my mom had this Louis Vuitton scarf that I actually took, that she was gifted like almost a decade ago when she was a teacher. Some parents gave her, and it was in the deep back of her closet, like deep dark corner. She wasn't using it at all. It was just there for years. And I'm using that example because that was my upbringing. My upbringing was not materialistic at all. Like, I wasn't someone who had the latest Jordans or the latest like anything. Me and my mom, matter of fact, like thrift shopping on the weekends was our thing. And I actually still genuinely like thrift stores. I feel like you find so many fire exclusive like vintage pieces, and that is me. That's stuff that kind of like excites me. But I feel like because of the social media world that we live in and what we see like every day on these screens, we think that, I don't want to speak for you guys or anybody else, I allowed myself to feel like who I was, how I was raised to an extent, was not good enough for the social media world or light. Like, I needed to be more than that, or I needed to show more than that. And like, now I found myself this year in a very unhappy, unfulfilled, confused state in terms of what I'm trying to portray to you guys, or who I'm trying to show, what I'm trying to show. And I think that's why transforming my room felt like such a breath of fresh air and felt very empowering, because I feel like that was the first thing I've done for myself in a while where it was like, this is easy. And I'm showing up unapologetically like that. Because I don't feel like my room is necessarily, it's aesthetic in my opinion, but like other people, like the things that might go viral on social media, for instance, that my room probably wouldn't go viral in comparison to like a European-esque room. And even that, I'm probably downplaying myself now with that. So I'm just trying to use an example. I am working towards stepping more into my light, and I don't want you guys to think I haven't shown up as like my true or real self throughout this journey that y'all have been watching me on. It's more so me trying to articulate the fact that I don't have my shit together. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. Like I don't have it all together. I just don't. I'm kind of just going with the flow as life is hitting me with different things. And it's hard to do, at least for me, because I think I'm so used to wanting to not be perfect. The word, but is the word perfect? Maybe the word is that. Like you want to show up all the time in your best light, in your best form. But I've realized over the years that's gotten exhausting. And that's why I was saying, like, I feel like Vlogmas this year, the way we did it, that was the only way I was going to be able to survive Vlogmas this year. Just being fully honest, transparent. If I'm not in the best moods or I have low energy that day, I can do that. I'm allowed to be in that. The love, the support, it didn't change. And I think that was something that I needed to see. All too often, us influencers get burnt out because we're always trying to make it seem like everything is okay and it's not all the time, or we got it together and we don't. Like I have not met one person in their 20s that feel like they got shit on lock and things are together. But I feel like being an influencer, the content you portray makes it seem like that, and that was kind of something that took a mental and emotional toll on me this year as well. There's people that are close to me, family and friends, who don't know what I have gone through this year, the mental battles that take place with all of this. And I know and truly feel like it's because of the content that I post. My content is always like upbeat and it's still me, right? But if I'm posting a picture, that's a moment in time when that picture is snapped. 5 minutes later, somebody could have spilled coffee all over my dress, but y'all wouldn't know that because the picture was taken up 5 minutes prior and it was bomb. You feel what I'm saying? So with that, there's not a lot of times where people, I feel like in my life, kind of intent. I don't want to say that because there are some people that do, but there's some people who are just completely ignorant and oblivious. And I'm not saying ignorant in like a shady way. I mean like dead ass ignorant to the fact that this lifestyle is sometimes overhyped and you don't really know how a person is doing and what's going on with them unless you ask. You can't assume that they're good just because they posted a recent fire Instagram picture. So it's been interesting. It's been interesting, you guys. I am, again, like I was saying, trying to say, the only reason I'm able to make this video now is because I'm in a much better place. And I'm getting there. I won't even say like I'm perfect from the line, but I feel in a way better, mentally clearer place than I have been in a while. And a lot of it also has to do with the fact that I have not had a lot of time to just be. And by that I mean, especially during these last couple of months where I was just in work mode, like I haven't had, and you know what? No, I don't even want to, that's something else I'm going to try to work on. I am tired of using the excuse of I don't have time, because there's also a lot of time that I waste y'all, scrolling. And through the scrolling, comparison is happening. And like essentially watching other people live their lives and being like, oh, that looks so cool. I should, but it's like, girl, go do it for yourself. So I've been doing a lot of that, reflecting, like something that I feel like y'all are gonna see from me for sure for next year, Isimeme 3.0. I have to say, I think, no, I know. Look at how difficult, like you have to be so intentional about breaking it. But I know that for a while now, I have been trying to produce content for the most part, not all of it, but for a lot of content on both my Instagram and YouTube have been because I feel like this is what people want to see or expect to see from me, instead of me living my life out the way I want, what I want to do, when I want to do it, and taking you guys along the ride with me. That's what I'm trying to gear more towards, because I think there's a lot more happiness for me on that side, instead of trying to utilize somebody else's blueprint of what they do. I don't know. I have to ponder on that a little bit more to get my thoughts out on that one, but I hope y'all kind of understand what I'm trying to say. There's so many things that I want to do, or I tell myself I'm gonna do, and this is something too that me and Josh both have realized this year, like fighting that lazy in, like, at least we describe it as, like, we feel like we have two people inside of us. One person that wants to be really productive and successful and grind and blah, 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 and then the other person who's just lazy and takes the easy way out and blah, blah, blah. So, like, a good example, we be telling ourselves we want to wake up early in the morning and work out. When that alarm goes off at 6:30, the lazy person is either going to snooze it, roll over, continue their slumber, or the productive, want to grind, go, like, just go hard in life, will turn the alarm off, get up, and get that ass in the gym. That's the person I'm trying to show up for myself more next year than ever, because I feel like I'll continue to kind of be in this, like, dark cloud type of vibe until I start living my life with more intention. That's my biggest thing for next year. I want to be so intentional about how I live my life, because I've noticed that when I allow my life to just happen to me, it's not very fun. It's not very fulfilling. I don't feel like I'm living my best life. There's a lot of, I feel like, improvements and changes y'all are gonna see in my content this coming year. I definitely am going to be diving deeper into the self-care and the hygiene. I know, and that's perfect, because I noticed you guys like that content, and I like making it, and I like doing it, because it's a form of me being able to do something for me while also taking y'all along the journey and hopefully inspiring y'all to do something for you. You know what, that just reminded me, I don't even think I finished my previous thought about when I deep dived on old EC content. I think last week was looking at, like, this old Instagram post of mine from college. In particular, it's not even the actual pictures or videos, it's the words, it's the captions. And one of my captions made me so emotional, and okay, I don't have my phone on me, it made me really emotional and actually tear up and cry a little bit, because I know that, like, I'm not that EC anymore. And I felt like that EC in college was way more, oddly enough, like, sure of herself, had like a tunnel vision mission of what she was doing at that time, what she wanted to gain and give through her platform. Whereas now, when I transitioned into this Instagram baddie and my captions became more of catchy fucking lyrics and little, you know, like puns and like little sassy comments. Pictures are dope, and the response, y'all response is cool in terms of like the compliments and stuff, but it doesn't bring value to either one of our lives. And that's something I so heavily prided myself on when I started this journey. I wanted to bring value to people's lives. I wanted to inspire and empower and motivate and encourage. And although a lot of you guys might feel like, girl, you do that, there's so much more that I know I can do and offer. And I think that's kind of why I'm making this video too, because I'm hoping that somebody out there who can probably relate to some of the things I'm saying in terms of trying to like figure themselves out and be happy with who they are and not compare this person's journey or that person's journey or make themselves feel inferior. That's kind of why I'm like doing this type of content, because I feel like there's a deeper connection that I can develop with you guys through being honest and transparent and kind of setting that tone of like, it's okay to admit X, Y, and Z, even if you think it might be embarrassing or like it's uncomfortable, because a lot of people, like, social media isn't that real. Unless I feel like people like do stuff like this where they're honest and be like, yeah, right now I'm not in a good place, things aren't good. You wouldn't know. There's so many people that are going through so much. I'm not even just talking about influencers, people in life right now. I'm sure a lot of you guys kind of experienced similar holiday seasons as I did, in terms of like, it didn't turn out how you expected. You weren't able to see your family, friends, and loved ones the way you wanted to. A lot of people are getting sick. A lot of people have died. That even like makes me, like, so many people, like, so much is happening in life. And I am trying to work on giving myself more grace. So even me doing this video, coming on here, being completely honest and transparent and raw with you guys is a form of me giving myself grace, instead of trying to like imagine if I didn't do this video and I've been MIA for a month and then I come on here like, hey guys, you ready for 2022? I am. That's not freaking real. It doesn't feel honest and it doesn't feel true, because if the last 3-4 months of this year I was going through all these emotions and waves and dark clouds, and then I come on camera and do a video like that I don't feel like that's not the relationship that I want with y'all. And that's not the energy that I want to portray again or perform like shit is all good all the time. But back to the Instagram caption that made me emotional, because you know what? I feel like I want to go grab it. Yep. Do I? Yep, I do. Give me 1 sec, y'all. Okay, I got to scroll down because, like I said, this is college EC, so much has happened since then. It's honestly, y'all, it's so crazy. There's actually more I wanted to touch on in terms of this Instagram stuff too. But it's even when I think about how much social media has evolved since I first started compared to now, I feel like it has gotten more toxic. It was a little bit toxic when I entered the game, but I feel like Instagram, for example, when I first started, people were really posting like their life unapologetically. Like it was more free. Oh, that's the word too, actually. It's when I was talking to Josh about it, the caption I'm about to read you guys, and I got emotional. He was kind of like, what's making you emotional or whatever? And I couldn't really put it into words, and he was like, did you feel like you were more free back then? And that's kind of what made me break down, because I did. I felt like free in the sense where I wasn't comparing myself, my content to other people like that back then. Free in terms of like, I felt more happy, fulfilled, a purpose. So yeah, I'm gonna read it to you guys really quick though and show y'all the actual picture. December 9th, 2017. Okay, so this is the picture. Okay, you wanna focus for me? Okay, that's the picture. The caption reads, you know, lately I've been noticing myself fall short of staying true to me, and because of that, I've been disrupting all the self-esteem and confidence I've gained over this past year, constantly comparing myself to others, feeling the need to copy others based off their success, or attempting to portray this image that just isn't me. A beat face every mother effing day ain't me. Looking A1 all the time ain't me. Taking hundreds of selfies a day and then deciding not to post any because it doesn't fit into that image YouTubers / public figures give off ain't me. I've always prided myself in reminding my followers to be them and do them unapologetically, yet I'm over here trying to be something I'm not. Well, no more. The only way to be successful is to try becoming the very best version of you, not a carbon copy of someone else. It's hard to be yourself in a world where you see someone with hundreds of thousands of likes or views based off what someone wears, the makeup they have on, or just the materialistic image they portray. And while that's all fine and dandy, and they have the right to do them, I've come to the realization that it ain't me, and I'm learning to be okay with that. You see, this image of me here is 100% me. I love the basics. I love a simple. I love that my natural beauty radiates through this picture. Now, don't get me wrong, it's nice to dress up, pop out, etc. But doing it all the time just simply ain't me, ain't ever gonna be me, and that's okay. Finding / discovering yourself is a never-ending journey. I'm just glad I caught myself and detoured with the quickness. So, that should make sense to you guys as to why I got emotional. Now, fast forwarding to where I am in 2021. Again, that was in October 2017 that I wrote that to myself. And I think even now, reading it again kind of makes me emotional, because I question, how did I get to this point? I even stopped myself in my tracks back then in 2017. What, in 2017, I don't even know what age I was then. It's 2021, about to be 2022. Like 6 years ago. So I was around 21, 22 years old. And I think when I read it, it made me more so feel disappointed in myself, because like I said, I feel like EC back then, like my mental was in a much better and stronger place, and I was happy, and like I was honest, and I was real, and I was transparent in my caption, so that I was taking you guys along the journey with me. Whereas EC the last year or so, like I said, my captions have been like Drake lyrics or whatever, or a little like dinner is served and it's meat, like I don't know, like cute little things, but and I don't think those things are a problem, but it doesn't bring any fulfillment to me. It's been interesting because as I've rebranded and evolved, and I think like I take better selfies now, my captions or my pictures and my content that I create is better to an extent than what it used to be. I think that the quality behind the messaging got lost when I transitioned, when that YouTube Black hit. EC in 2017 hadn't been to YouTube Black yet. So and I was still in college, so it was almost easy to say like, okay, well, I'm not gonna compare because these people were still at a distance. It was still the internet, and I had control of turning the internet on and off. Being in person, fully immersing, like that was the first time I walked a red carpet, because YouTube Black has like this red carpet fan fest thing, like all of that, just stepping into that, it's so interesting, and it's a culture shock. I allowed that culture shock to change me in ways that I don't like. So my biggest thing as well with this coming year is definitely more establishing who I am, what I want, what is easy, and also tapping back into old easy. So that was a really like heartfelt, this is where I'm at in life caption. But as I was looking at other content for me back then, I was I had way more intentionality in terms of my relationship with you guys, and asking y'all how are y'all doing, or comment below what's a goal you have. I just want to be more inspirational for myself and for you guys. I want to encourage and inspire growth and having honest conversations with yourself, and feel like I'm really making a positive impact. That's the biggest thing, and I think that's why I haven't felt super fulfilled. So something else that I'm not going to touch too much on, but something I feel like you guys can, you guys can expect from me in 2022 and hopefully beyond, just Isimeme 3.0 in general, is back to that. Back to the rawness, the real, like if I'm not in a great place, maybe I'm gonna end up like pampering myself, taking a bath, like a goddess bath or whatever, and like showing you guys that, bringing that along, and like hopefully encouraging y'all, like if y'all aren't having a good day or you're not in a good place, seeing me live out my life in a way that's catered towards uplifting myself and empowering myself. I'm just hoping that it translates for you guys to do the same for you. So with Isimeme 3.0, it's definitely going to be some new stuff, but we're going back to our roots. I'm going back to my roots. These type of late night vid sessions, at one point in college, I was trying to do them like once a week. I was doing a lot more girl talks, and I feel like that content brought me fulfillment because I knew it was bringing value in somebody's life. As long as I'm somehow positively changing and impacting someone's life, that I feel so much reward from that. And it's so interesting too, because I feel like, that this year I've made the most money that I've ever made, but felt the most unfulfilled that I ever have. And the reason behind that is because I never started this journey in the first place for the money, for the flex lifestyle, for the glitz and the glam of it. And somehow I found myself in this place where that's where it became about. That's what it became about. Because I saw other people, like, to focus on other people's lanes. It's quite the ride, like living in this social media world and era. It's hard to honestly figure yourself out and not compare, and seeing other people living out this maybe dream life that you're like, oh, once I get there. And that's something else too that I've honestly realized. There's certain goals and from a almost materialistic standpoint that I set for myself. Back when I set them, I'm like, once I get to this point in my life, I'll be happy, I'll be content, I would have made it and I'll be satisfied. But then I reach that point, and then it's like, all right, what's next? How can I and like, I want to do better with breathing, being present, celebrating my big and small wins, and just like, it's important to think in the future, but I also feel like not more so than it is to live in the present. And I have not done my best at always living in the present and being happy with where I'm at. And if growth comes, then that's dope. But if it doesn't, it's okay. Another really good example of something that is just toxic, how social media can be toxic. Let's say there's an Instagram post or picture that I'm excited to post. I feel like I look fire. I think I look good. And then I post a picture and it does trash. And trash in the sense of like the engagement. If I average 40,000 likes within 48 hours and the picture is only at 20,000 likes in 48 hours, I'm like disappointed in myself, or like it literally messes with my emotions, and it's annoying and both embarrassing to even admit, because that much, like my self-worth and validation should not be that tied to anybody's affirmation or like or validation. It should be me. It should be on me. It's interesting because this is the only career that I've ever had. So I can see why I've gotten to where I'm at or where I've been and where a lot of influencers are, because if this is kind of the only career that you've had, and your career is basically solely based off other people's validation and likeness of you, that can be very taxing on a person's mental and emotional. And then not to mention, Instagram algorithm is always changing, so the picture might not have even done, the picture may have done bad more so because of the algorithm than the fact that y'all don't like it or whatever. But like, either way, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to get to the point where it just doesn't matter when you think of the long grand scheme of things. So, and it doesn't help being a Virgo and being in this career, because the perfection, just trying to always demand perfection and be the best and constantly evolve. And like, it's been taxing, y'all. It's been taxing. So I am becoming very optimistic and excited about it, 2022, because this year was ghetto. That's the best way I can put it. This year was ghetto. I'm just ready to start living my life for me and taking you guys along the journey with me. I want to start doing more in-person things. I want to start, like, a lot of you guys were kind of a part of my Discord sessions. I think it's also time to start taking off this mask, because I feel like I've been talking to y'all probably an hour at this point. But like, I held some Discord sessions earlier this year. And for those who don't know, Discord is pretty much just like Zoom, but we also were able to have like this beauty gang group chat, which I have not checked in so long, and I'm so sorry anybody who is a part of that. And I kind of have given a lot of broken promises to, because one day I might be feeling like, okay, I'm gonna get back on there, y'all, and we're gonna have this talk, and then I went through the year that I've gone through and I don't come through with it. I hope now you guys have a better understanding of why I was so MIA and why I couldn't. But like, that's a goal for me next year, to make sure that I am being way more hands-on with you guys, because I would not be where I'm at without y'all's love and support. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to even have times where I can like take off and decompress and tap out and go MIA if it wasn't for me knowing and having that reassurance that y'all are still gonna be here and support me and basically like hold me down when I come back. I can never thank you guys and show my gratitude to you guys enough. But the best way I feel like I can is to do what I'm talking about doing, and been kind of already pondering on some really dope and fire ideas. So this coming year, I plan to have some in-person experiences with y'all, in person as well as virtual, right? So I brought up Discord for a reason. I want to get into having more consistent Discord sessions. My goal is to try to do it at least once a month. I think I kind of pitched it to you guys the time before. Like, sometimes I want to do book clubs where we like maybe for a month or two, every 3 chapters we hop on Discord and we discuss what we learned, what we gained, what our perspectives, because I also was noticing I was growing so much from those type of conversations. And just being around women, to be honest, this social media world, it's interesting because it's like you're bringing people into your life and there's like this digital type of relationship that you develop, but it's not on a more personal and intimate way. And I felt like when I was doing those Discord sessions and hearing you guys talk and express yourself or your point of view or perspective about something, I gain and evolve from those type of things. And I'm always about, I love hearing other women talk and understanding their perspectives, because a lot of times I might not have the same perspective, but hearing somebody else say something grows me. So that's something that I want to definitely do consistently. I was kind of having a talk with something else that's also allowing me to feel lighter moving into next year. Outsourcing has been my biggest thing. And I don't want to lose track of my Discord thing, but I kind of think I touched on what y'all can kind of expect. But a big thing too this year that was heavy on me in particular, all the brand deals, trying to do it all by myself. More than likely long overdue for developing a team. So for the last almost week or two, that's what I've been doing, working on outsourcing. I don't know how many of you guys saw my Instagram story like a month or so ago. I plan to get a video editor and also a photographer, videographer I was looking for in Chicago. And before I wanted to start like doing my own research and outsourcing, I wanted to make sure I asked my beauty gang first if any of you guys were those things or knew somebody who was. I wanted to give that opportunity first. Excuse me, and I still have not wiped off my face. Let me grab a face cloth. But, oh no, not but. The beauty in it is I actually ended up finding 2 people through me going on my Instagram and asking that. So I have a video editor now. We're gonna go through a nice little trial period, but her energy, her spirit, just fire. So check. Also, already have the manager, check. Project manager / kind of like my right hand woman. I have that now. It's actually my cousin. I'm so excited. One of my cousins, I have a lot of cousins, but one of my cousins in particular from my dad's side. She's such a beautiful energy and spirit and so genuine and like she's excited like I am. Like it's that motivation and push that I need. So she's gonna be a part of my team. And then I have a photographer, videographer, well, a couple of them kind of in my back pocket because I want to start shooting higher quality content. But overall, I guess what I say all that to say, I've developed and still in the works of developing a team around myself. I noticed that a lot of my peers that have really excelled and are just killing the game right now, that's what they have. And a lot of them are moms too, so I'll look at them and I'm like, how are they accomplishing all this shit? Like, and come to find out, after doing some deep diving and some research, they have a team around them. They have managers, they have assistants, they have video editors, they have project managers. They had like this one girl, or woman, I don't want to call her a girl. I can get a little bit closer, whatever. This whole video's fully transparent and honest, and I don't want my sleeves to get wet. But this one woman who absolutely killed it this year, she made like over $1 million in sales and brand deals this year. And I was like, just from Instagram, y'all. And I was like, yeah, that's the goal. Come to find out, she has, I hope y'all heard me, because I was being real rash right there. Hopefully y'all heard me. But she has 15 people on her team, I recently heard and discovered. So the way her platforms operate makes sense. So it's like, okay, so that's why she can be a successful wife and mother and like be able to accomplish all these things, a YouTube channel, Instagram post, all of it. She has different people, she outsources. And I'm excited not just to like build a team for social media reasons, but it's gonna help with my personal life because I'm getting married next year, y'all, and I haven't even had time to really like immerse myself in that. Just like being in this time in my life where I'm engaged, ready, about to be married for the first time in my life. And because I'm constantly in work mode and trying to juggle everything by myself, I haven't had enough time to really like immerse myself into that, which is why y'all haven't really got much wedding content from me. I think y'all only got, sorry, rinsing the space cloth off one more time. I think y'all really only got me reacting to my wedding content folder and I think an engagement Q&A. That's about all I have for y'all. And I hope this video helps y'all have a better understanding of why your girl's just been, I don't know if the word is going through it or just, yeah, I have been. I've been going through it, y'all. I have been. But again, like I said, with outsourcing, creating a team, having other people around me who can like kind of knock out a lot of busy work, because like, so I said I kind of like breezed past all the roles, but as influencers, if you don't have a team, you're wearing and doing about 11 jobs as one person. It's just too much at this point, especially with like the brand deals being added on to it. When I was just by myself and I didn't have management and the brand deals weren't coming in like that, it was easy to juggle, because my content was based off what I wanted to make, and it is what it is. Whereas now it's pretty impossible to try to do that and to sustain a healthy, like good mental health, emotional health, all the health, to be honest. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy with the people that I do have on my team thus far. That's another thing, me just working towards being more of a boss and businesswoman. I tell myself I want to have like this level of success or be at this point by 30 or blah, blah, blah. But there's no way to get to those points without starting to do the groundwork to get there, if that makes sense. And building a team around me is one of the main things. So like I said, I think I'm definitely long overdue for it. But I don't regret this year and the pits and the lows of it, because it has helped me become where I'm at. It's helped me self-reflect and realize what it is that I need around me. It's helped me in so many ways. You don't know better. Wait, you can't do better unless you know better. So I needed to go through these kind of like, I guess, low points basically to know what it is that I need to excel and elevate and make next year better for myself. I feel like this is like a conversation that can honestly be ongoing. I can keep talking to y'all about the different things that I've gone through this year and living at my edge and different conversations, but I really think that next year, I hopefully won't have to have another video like this. As like I said, around this time last year, I know I did a similar video where I just was feeling very burnt out and overwhelmed. So I'm trying to, hopefully we can finish next year on a higher, more exciting note, in a more fulfilled place. I plan to actually take today as well. This is literally the day after Vlogmas. And I am gonna more than likely work, because I'm gonna get this video up to you guys. And also, I wouldn't even say this is more so work. This is me trying to have that intentionality in my life. I'm gonna start brainstorming content for 2022, try to establish some dates, because for personal life as well as work life, there's literally only one way that I'm gonna be able to have a healthy, successful, and happy year next year, and that is for me to be intentional and more structured, more organized. Not just saying, oh, I want to make this kind of content, or I want to do this, actually writing it down. I was way more fulfilled, and I feel like way more successful, depending on what type of definition of success you're using. But back then, back in 2017 EC, the old EC, African Beauty or whatever, I have notebooks from when I first started still. I wrote out my goals. I wrote out for different videos, like a girl talk video, for instance, if I was making that for y'all, I wrote out different bullet points of what I wanted to make sure that I said and touched on. I was just so like organized and on top of my shit. I was just on my shit. And I think it's weird because I also noticed EC during that era of my life being a full-time college student athlete. So I'm having track meets and track practice while also having courses and homework and essays and presentations, while also pumping out 2 to 3 YouTube videos a week for y'all. I'm not really getting paid for it. Again, like I said, I didn't start it because of money. I started it because it was gonna be a hobby. It was gonna be something that I was doing for me. I was so much more efficient back then, whereas now I'm my own boss. I only answer to myself. I'm not like stretched thin between school and track and blah, blah, blah. And like I find myself just in this, but it's because I don't plan. And Josh always talks about the 5 P's, and I think the saying is proper preparation prevents poor performance. When you properly prepare your life or what you want to do, you'll perform better. And I performed better back then when I was operating at the 5 P's. So my biggest plans for next year, if I can put it into 3 words, and I want you guys to comment below too, if you make it this far to the video, please comment below your 3 words and goals for next year. But mine is definitely intentionality, productivity, and discipline. Discipline has been the biggest pitfall for me. When I was talking about those 2 sides of me, one you see that's determined and trying to drive and trying to grind, and then the other one is just lazy. Because with that laziness, then I start deep diving and scrolling and comparing my life and blah blah blah. Like ugh, that's the best way I can describe that. Easy is ugh. trying to fight that every day requires discipline. And I love my girl Nia the Light, her book, The Book of Light. I don't know if I shared that with you guys. It's in my Amazon store, one of my favorite books, honestly. It's about self-love. I want to finish the book. That's something else. I'm gonna finish books next year. But her book, Book of Light, about self-love, that book has helped in so many ways, but I brought it up because she has a sentence in there that I love, and it's self-care. Is it requires discipline or is discipline? One of those words. Self-care is discipline. So sometimes, like when it comes to doing the face mask or taking a bath, like I have so many bubble bath products that I don't use. Why? I can't, and I think the excuse I've always said is like, oh, I don't have time, but the lazy EC has time to scroll for hours. I hate when my screen time, my iPhone notifies me what my screen time was during the week, because it's disgusting how much time I waste. And I say, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. I do have the time. I'm not intentional enough with my time. I'm not disciplined enough with my time, and I'm not productive with it. So I'm gonna do better, y'all. I'm gonna do better. We're all gonna do better. I hope that all of us are going to start kind of setting better intentions for our lives and our futures and what we want. We are in this prime time and age to be essentially carving out what our lives are going to look like, what we want them to look like, and not based off what we see others are doing with their life. I mean, it's nice, and don't get me wrong, it's not bad to sometimes see inspo or like get an idea where somebody does this. It's like, oh, that's dope. But every move shouldn't be made based off, oh, that's dope. Oh, I'd like to do that. Oh, so I don't know exactly where this journey next year is going to take me / us, because I'll be taking y'all along, but like, there's so many different things that I tell myself that I want to do, I want to try, I want to go to. I've never, one of my friends asked it, she was like, yeah, we need to get mimosas, go to brunch or whatever. I've never really done a girl day brunch type of thing. I did a post on this not too long ago, but like romanticizing your life. That is my key. Yep, let's add one more word to it. I would say romanticizing is the other thing that I will be working on next year. If I say I want to do something, I'm tired of just saying it and then just leaving it a chance of when I'll eventually think of it again to do it. If I say I'm gonna do it, I want to like pick a date, and that's when the freak is gonna happen. That's that intentionality. Instead of just letting life happen to me, I want to control my life the best that I can. So I'm excited to take y'all on this journey. I feel like I'm kind of rebirthing and reinventing myself, mixing some old EC, because I liked her. Y'all heard that caption? With some new EC. Because I won't say like I hate who I've become. There's a give and take. There's a balance to it all. But I'm excited, y'all, with this journey. If some of you guys are trying to kind of start that journey with yourself, it's going to be a very fun and fulfilling year for a lot of us. Just taking control of our life. And to be honest, the other thing too I was gonna say, why I'm not super hard on myself about all of this too. One, every stage of my life is somewhere I've never been before. Because of that, I can't hold myself to this perfect expectation that I'm supposed to have to get, but I've never been here before. I've never been 27 in Chicago, downtown Chicago, as a fiance. Like, I don't, like, all of this in the middle of a pandemic for the last 2 years. I've never been this easy before. So with that, it's going to come with evolving and figuring things out and trial and error and stuff. So yeah, I think I need to add another word to my originally 3, then 4, now 5, grace. Definitely gonna make sure I give myself grace next year. So yeah, y'all, I think I've rambled enough. If you made it to the end of this video, appreciate you. Please don't hesitate to comment below your top 3 or 5 words that you are going, what am I trying to say? Not words. In 3 to 5 words, comment below your goal for your life for 2022. Just know, I mean, I'm talking about kind of like, not the negatives, but just the real rawness of life. But there's some excitement that I have coming for y'all for sure too, like in terms of my content, getting more into self-care, because I think it's actually perfect too with me introducing self-care and hygiene more into my channel this year, because next year is going to be a lot more of that, but also because of everything I explained, because I know I'm not the only woman that experiences just this mode of like overworking yourself, and you're always thinking about other people and other things before putting yourself first and making sure you are good mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I think that my content next year being more geared towards self-care and just a constant reminder for me as well as for you guys to take care of you. I'm excited for that, because us as women, as we keep growing into this womanhood, need those reminders. That's why I follow so many inspirational, affirmational Instagram pages and stuff, because I need to see those reminders sometimes. So yeah, next year is gonna be a lot. I'm gonna have a team. I'm gonna be a married woman. I'm not rebranding again, but I'm stepping more into my light, myself in my womanhood, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I don't know how this video exactly is gonna turn out. I just talk, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't want to deep dive on that again too, but this is one more example too, in terms of me living my life for me instead of what somebody else wants or expects. Y'all know I've been doing natural hair content since I got on YouTube, right? Not to say it's gonna stop, but I'm sure a lot of you guys noticed natural hair content has substantially slowed down. And I'm not saying that I'm not gonna bring y'all any in 2022. I'm more so saying what my heart desires at that time is what's going to be given. A lot of times this year when I've done natural hair content, it's been because like, oh, I know that's what they like, that's what they want to see from me, that's what they're expecting, so let me deliver. But then it makes me unhappy. It takes me freaking hours in the shower. And I'm already telling y'all I barely have any like time for myself just to being in the shower for 5-6 hours, maybe even 7, or not in the shower, but just in general doing a natural hair video, getting all these different angles. Because that's something else too. It's not about to be a whole nother ramble session, but oftentimes when I do like wash day routines or some type of hair situation in the shower, right, I always see, never fails, people in the comment section talking about, you need to turn off that water while you're blah, blah, blah. And I get it. I get why they're saying that, right? But what I feel like they're not understanding, giving me grace about is I am my only team, right? So me doing my actual hair, changing the angles and shit for y'all, lowering the camera, hiring the camera with wet hand, like, y'all get what I'm trying to, like, it's very difficult. I think is what I'm trying to say. I don't think people give enough grace to what it really takes to do these behind the scenes productions all by yourself. So I always find that kind of frustrating, because I'm like, if you only knew, I mean, if you were here, you could help me get different angles and blah, 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 while turning it off the water, turning on the water. Like, it's so much. And I think that's a really good example too of not apologizing. I'm not gonna apologize for that type of, it's like either you want the content and you're satisfied with it, or you're not. Like, I can't care anymore. I need to just do what makes me happy, what makes me feel fulfilled. And I hope and pray that you guys enjoy the content along the way, enjoy the journey, and enjoy seeing those parts of me. And if you don't, that's okay too. And I have to know that too. It's okay if people aren't going to be down for it, or people aren't going to like it, or like whatever. I have a feeling that y'all are. You know, I don't really usually disappoint, but it's okay if it doesn't align with what you are wanting or looking for. So yeah, y'all, didn't mean to turn that into a whole nother thing, but that was just something that came to mind too. That's something people are on my ass about a lot, but I feel like from the jump of my social media career, I never came out like a lot of other people, like, oh, I'm a natural hair influencer. I always tried to make my content like a big variety, girl talks, late night vent sessions, natural hair content, try on hauls, to establish like I'm not just one thing. I can tap into so many different niches. So yeah. That is for sure what I got for you. That's all I got for y'all. I don't want to get into anything else. I plan on doing more of these type of videos as the new year comes in, just so we can stay on the same page with each other. I feel like without me literally saying it, you know, something that I passed down from my mom into majority of my relationship in my life is asking people how they're doing mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I feel like I kind of gave that to y'all in this video. There's a lot of more mental, but y'all know. If you wouldn't mind, I would love to know how y'all are doing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And yeah, I just look forward to this new year with you guys. New content, new me. Or no, yeah, yes, no. Evolved me. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Love y'all so much. Merry Christmas again. Happy New Year's. Happy holidays. If this is my last video this year, I guess see y'all in 2022. If it's not, then I'll see y'all in the next video. I don't know. We'll just see. But all right.